Folks, welcome back to another episode of The Fallen Badge. Today we're going to look at the murder of Officer Keith Lawrence, Officer Michael Crain, and Deputy Jeremiah McKay, University of Southern California Department of Public Safety, Riverside Police Department, San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department. Officer Lawrence, he was 27 years old, been with Southern California for about 6 months. Now he was engaged. His fiancee, Miss Kwan, who was the actual target of the suspect in this case, she would die along with Officer Lawrence. Officer Crain was 34 years old. He had 11 years on with Riverside Police Department. He had a wife, 2 children. Detective McKay was 35 years old. He had 15 years old with San Bernardino. He had a wife and 2 children. The suspect in this case was ex-police officer who held a grudge. He posted some material on the internet about why he was angry and what he was going to do, and his solution for the roadblocks and pitfalls of life was to go on a murder spree. And if his written words he posted were not proof of his mental imbalance, then the people he killed was definitely proof that he had some issues. February 3rd, 2013, Irvine, California. Officer Lawrence is with his fiancée, Monica Kwan. Now, Miss Kwan, her father had been a captain with LAPD, and he had represented the suspect in his dismissal hearing. Now, the suspect was fired, so he held the captain responsible. Now, they're pulling up into an upper-level parking garage, 2100 block of Scholarship. They pull into the parking spot. They're in a white Kia Optima. Lawrence in the driver's seat, Miss Kwan in the passenger seat. Now, Miss Kwan was the assistant coach for the women's basketball team at Cal State Fullerton. Now, before they can get out of the car or do anything, the suspect walks up, fires multiple rounds from a 9mm pistol into the car, kills both Officer Lawrence and Miss Kwan. Now, the suspect is developed very quickly due to that manifesto he published online, and so they've got his description out, his pictures, vehicle, everything, and they are looking for him. The 2 officers, LAPD, are flagged down by a cab driver. He says, "Hey, I see that suspect. He's over at this gas station. This gas station's in Corona." It's about 1 o'clock in the morning. So the officers pull over there and they see that truck, and they begin to follow it. Now, it gets on the interstate. I believe that's I-15. Now, the suspect goes down the interstate just a little bit, and he gets off at the Magnolia Avenue exit of 15. Now, he stops, gets out of his truck. Well, when the officers are coming off the ramp and pull it on the Magnolia, the suspect opens up, zippers the front windshield of the squad car. Now, neither officer is injured or seriously injured by some miracle. Now, the suspect, he takes off. Now, he stays on the surface roads, my understanding from the resource material, and he runs all the way into Riverside. So now he's cruising through the city of Riverside, and he's at Magnolia and Arlington Avenue. And he sees a marked squad car, a Riverside police car, at the red light opposite of where he's sitting. So he's eastbound and they're westbound, but they're sitting at the light. And this is 20 minutes after he shot up the LAPD squad car. So he pulls through the intersection, sticks a semi-automatic rifle out the window, and he shoots up that Riverside squad car. Now both officers are hit multiple times. The passenger officer is Officer Crain. Now Officer Crain and his partner are just shot to pieces. Now Officer Crain, he dies. His partner miraculously survives. I don't know how as many times as he was hit. Now some days go by, and up at Big Bear Lake in that area, there's a service road there that forestry uses. It's identified as 2N10. And there's a gate there, the lock's been snipped off of it. Well, snowplow's going through there trying to clear the roads and stuff, and there's a burnout truck. And it's sitting there at an altitude about 7,000 feet on this mountain road. And it's right there next to the Snow Summit Mountain Resort. And it's about 8:30 in the morning on the... Now, it's obvious that the suspect, because it's his truck, had tried to get up that mountain road and had slid and gotten stuck, so he just set it on fire. So now they start looking for the suspect, and they got all kinds of police up there trying to find him. February the 12th, a couple who own a cabin there in the Big Bear area, they're going to get their cabin ready for rental. They go in, and the suspect's in there, and he ties them up. He doesn't hurt them. Ties them up, gags them. And he steals their truck. It's a Nissan Rogue. So he leaves in it. Well, one of them's able to get loose enough to use a cell phone that the suspect had left there in the cabin. She calls 911 and tells them what happened. Well, now all those police, they're probably not thawed out from looking for him the first time when they had discovered his burnout truck. Well, everybody runs back up there again, looking for him. Now, some wildlife officers and some deputies, they're trying to set up a roadblock at Highway 38 and Glass Road, and they're looking for that Nissan. Well, sure enough, they spot him. It's behind a couple of school buses on Highway 38. Well, they get to chasing the Nissan, and the suspect, he hangs a right and he goes down Glass Road. Now he ends up wrecking the Nissan down there at the bottom of one of those hills, because that is a curvy road. Now the suspect, he cuts through the woods and he runs across a fella in a pickup truck. And he carjacks him, takes his truck from him. He doesn't hurt him. So now the suspect, he's heading along Glass Road in his victim's pickup truck. And as he's going one way, the game wardens are coming the other. Now they're near Glass Road and Seven Oaks. Well, there's 2 truckloads of the game wardens, and the first one goes by that Dodge Ram, and he kind of looks at the driver and he's saying, "Oh, that's the suspect." So he radios to the second truck that's behind him a little bit and says, "Hey, the suspect's in that Dodge, that gray or white Dodge truck that's coming right at you." So now the suspect, he opens up on the game wardens. There's 2 game wardens in their search dog. He doesn't hit any of them, but he shoots their truck up. Game wardens, they hammer back at the suspect with their semi-automatic rifles. So now the word's out that shots have been fired and what vehicle the suspect's in. Police are back up there. Everybody's back up there. Now, Deputy McKay and his partner, they're in a pickup truck, little SUV, and they're moving along Seven Oaks Road. Well, they get there near 40,700 Seven Oaks Road, and there's a cabin there, and they notice in the driveway there it looks like there's some tracks through the snow. They don't see a vehicle, but the tracks go up behind the cabin. So they stop there on Seven Oaks, and they get out and they're looking around. Now, as they're looking around, the suspect, he's up in the cabin. Now, he's got him a rifle, and he starts cranking off rounds at the two deputies. And Deputy McKay's partner is shot multiple times, and he's down. Now, Deputy McKay, he's behind the wheel, be the left front wheel, so he's got good cover. Well, the helicopter comes over, and he's trying to tell the helicopter where the suspect's at, which cabin it is. And he's trying to direct him in so he can get his partner out. Now, while the Deputy McKay is trying to get the helicopter directed in, he kind of gives up a little bit of his cover, and it's just enough for the suspect to crank off a round, and it ricochets. I don't know if it ricocheted off of Deputy McKay's, off his vest, off his ballistic helmet, or what, but anyways, that round's able to get into his chest, and he's pretty well dead right there on the spot. Now, they're finally able to rescue Deputy McKay's partner, who's shot to pieces, and they get him to the hospital, and he survives. And Deputy McKay, they can't get him back. Now, just a few hours later, they can't get the suspect come out of that cabin, so the sheriff's department, they send an armored vehicle up there, and they tear out a wall of the cabin, and they pop the gas in. The suspect won't come out. So finally, they TAC commanders for the San Bernardino County, they shoot in some more CS gas. It's called burners, also known as hot gas. It's pyrotechnic tear gas, which they don't use it much because it has a propensity to start fires. So they shoot that in there, and of course it catches the cabin on fire. And it burns, for about half an hour, and then they hear a single gunshot coming from the cabin. Well, they have to let it burn out, and it takes a long time. It's not till the next day they can actually get into the cabin, and because the cabin is burnt down to the ground completely. Now, in there, they find the suspect, and they identify him through dental records. And the 9mm pistol that he's got, ballistics matches up to the bullets found in Officer Lawrence and his fiancée, Miss Kwan. And then the semi-automatic rifle that's inside the cabinet, it matches up to the rounds that killed Officer Crain and Deputy McKay. Officer Keith Lawrence. End of watch, February 3rd, 2013. Officer Michael Daniel Crain. End of watch, February 7th, 2013. Deputy Jeremiah Allen McKay. End of watch, February 12th, 2013.